Welcome back to your daily dose. By now, you know Debbie and how we met at the Run Disneyworld Marathon. You know my friend Susan because we do all these things together. Debbie, we meet and you tell me that your father is passed. When did he pass away?
He had passed a year ago on Sunday, the day of the marathon.
The day of the, wow.
Yes. And so, one of the most special trips our family took was when I was in 4th grade, and I'm sorry. And we went to Disney World, which was a very special trip for us. We didn't take a lot of trips outside of seeing grandparents. And Dad and I did a lot of special things. We would get up early in the morning. He would ask the guy that was driving the monorail to see if we could sit in the front seat with him. So we did that early in the morning when it first started. We rode the teacup. His favorite was the carousel. Anytime we would go, I would take my family to Disney World. He'd always say, "Oh, did you ride the carousel? Did you ride the carousel?" And so as I'm running the marathon on the anniversary of his death 1 year, as I was approaching the road through to Magic Kingdom, the monorail runs over me. So, or not over me, but above me. And so then you run through the entrance of Magic Kingdom, and it is phenomenal. I mean, the crowd support is just amazing. And I'm running up and I see this gentleman pushing a recumbent wheelchair, runner chair, and slows down to turn around to take a selfie. I could tell he was setting up to take a selfie. And I stopped and I couldn't quite see. I didn't look to see who was in the wheelchair. And I stopped and I said, "Oh, would you like me to take your picture?" And I believe you said, "Oh, you're okay to stop?" And I said, "Oh my goodness, yes." And then as I'm taking the picture, I thought, this looks like it could be his father. And it just warmed my heart beyond words. That what an experience, and just so wonderful for you to do this with your dad and to share an amazing experience. I mean, just so many parts of that Disney World Marathon are phenomenal. The people, everyone dressed in costume, not everyone, but so many, and just the fun of it. And, I've run for a charity once for a marathon, and it was so much special. It was so much beyond just me and my goal. And anybody that I saw that was running for a charity or for someone, it touches my heart and touches my soul to share this with others. And to see you pushing your father was oh my goodness, it was just wonderful. And on the 1 year since my dad had passed, I had no words, and I had tears, and you gave me the hug, and then you said, "Oh, let me take a picture of you with my dad." I mean, it was just, I have no words.
I can't tell you how moved I am by your story and kind of blown away, like you said, by the whole community, how common the story is of, a lost loved one or someone, you're thinking about in honor of type of thing. And, we see the shirts often. And I wasn't thinking about that necessarily when I was doing it. It was more just opportunity. This all came really quickly to me. Dad and I ran the Beta Breakers in San Francisco back in May. And then Team Fox reached out and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and Dad, I tell him 5K, 10K, half or marathon. And he says marathon. I go, okay, I guess we're doing a marathon. And
he was doing the pushing.
But I didn't expect, like you said, that for yours and so many other people's responses. I put something up on on Run Disney, and people you see just gone crazy for it. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm so honored. And so I just want to keep that going, to keep these conversations, because your story and everybody's stories, these things that bring us together, they make the world a better place, I think.
You said something, Debbie, that really struck me. You said this was beyond me and my goals.
Yes.
And that was the experience that I sensed from Robert as well.
So when the marathon was over, I called my mom because I knew that day was going to be rough for her. And she said, "Oh, I'm so glad you had this. I had this to think about." And I said, "Well, Mom, I'm sorry I'm not there." She said, "No, this gave me something else to think about." And I said, "Mom, I have to tell you what happened." And meeting you and taking your picture was the first thing I told her. And she started crying too. I mean, you have no idea what you did, what warmth it brought to everybody that saw you, and just made it so much more special for all of us. And I just applaud you. I am so thankful that I had the meeting with you and the chance to take your picture. And it's something I'll carry with me for the rest of my life as this very special experience. But it was this interaction and others, but this one in particular, that really just brought it all together. And I thought, wow,
Yeah.
of all days,
Yeah,
Well,
there's
your
a beautiful
your
kind of-
family, Debbie, so this is not the last time. We'll talk, you know.
Yep.
I love this. There are certain times you meet people that are just special, and I just knew that, and it was all I could do. I just wanted to wrap your dad in my arms and just give him the biggest hug, and and I
I think he did, metaphorically. I think Dan knew that.
Well, and just to say, and I know we're breaking rules, but this is too good. We're just going to do this. That to say the effect on my dad, I want to make sure you know that too, because Parkinson's has the effect similar to dementia of sometimes isolating the individual. People feel trapped in a prison. They feel they can become removed because they're not, the person they used to be. Dad was a runner. And so he had not run a marathon, but he ran a lot. And so this was very specific in that sense. And the effect you and others had on him, he is constantly blown away going, do people care that much about? Do they see me? I mean, he can feel lost or detached. So the gift you gave by sharing your love, by sharing your story, I can't underline it or highlight it enough. Your vulnerability and courage and beauty, thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That means so much to me. And if you ever come out this way, please let me know. Please. Oh, I'd love to see you guys again.
We'd love to see you too. Susan, you've been listening so well, and you're such any words or anything you want to wrap this with that you're feeling at the moment?
I'd like Debbie to know she can come hang out with us. We're online a lot.
Yeah.
Just for fun, you might tune into YouTube, Debbie. There's this thing that Robert and I do almost every day, and we're doing it right now. It's a daily dose of dopamine.
Because this is what you're about. Yeah. These
Yes.
conversations, these connections, they make the world a better place. That's why we started doing them. And, I'm so grateful to have met you.
Well, thank you. And I will watch those. I will check it out.
And join in again. Doesn't mean you only have to watch. We'd love to have you back.
I would love to. I absolutely would. And I'm honored that you asked me to join you.
All right.
Oh, for sure. And have you guys talked about the website, just so you know what the rest of his life is like?
We'll talk offline about all that. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Debbie, thank you so much for your time, for your story.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cheers.
Wonderful
Thank
to see
you.
you again.
Is your daily dose.
Thank you.